Check. 1, 2, 3.
The
Brief.
This is the D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's arts
and entertainment scene.
This is the D
Brief.
Hello and welcome to the Debrief, your podcast for Detroit concerts, comedy, plays, food, drink, and more. My name is Seth Ressler. I'm your co-host, and today is Tuesday, June 18th, 2019.
And I'm Becky Scarcello, and guess what? I have another holiday today.
What do you mean you got another holiday?
I have to wish a happy birthday to my mother-in-law.
Can we just write these down? Do we really
we
need
have
to?
a lot of June.
We're not doing
family
like your
events.
second cousins and
No,
everybody else.
this is legit. My mother-in-law.
Right.
Okay. She's actually lives very
You're
close
gonna get
to
a
where
better
we
Christmas
record.
gift because you told her happy birthday on the podcast.
You know that's why I'm doing it. Yeah.
I know it is. Here's how it works. If you've never listened to the podcast, we're going to talk about everything that's going on in Detroit this week. I, of course, am the new guy to Detroit. I have not lived here my whole life. I'm still learning about the place.
Often shows, and I am the native, and know a lot more than you.
And have a lot more relatives here as well.
I do,
apparently. Yes.
with a lot of birthdays and such.
Here's
yes.
what's happening on today's show. First of all, Puma has a brand new shoe.
Okay.
That's what Puma
For
makes.
your feet.
For your feet to celebrate a Detroit milestone.
Okay, so Iggy Pop has a new product out, and I bet you won't guess what it is.
Ooh, we'll find out. There's a new garden going in at Belle Isle, and I'm actually excited about this because I've been working on my own garden. I feel embarrassed to say that, but it's not a manly thing to say, but I've been working on my own garden at home for the first time in my life.
That's manly work, man.
Yeah, dude, let me tell you, it's it's been hard.
On Friday, you're going to want to tune in to hear our interview with Sean Patrick, co-owner of the Willis Show Bar there in Midtown.
And of course, we've got a lot more on the show as well. Don't forget, we talk about a ton of stuff on this podcast. If you want links to the things that we talk about, all you have to do is go to our website. That is thedebriefdetroit.com. And while you're there, sign up for the email.
Or you can make it even easier on yourself and text the word Detroit to 444-999.
All right, let's get into the show and meet our guest host.
This is the D Brief.
All right, our host today is an actress. She's a director. She's a writer. She does everything in theater. She's been involved in Detroit theater for decades now. She is also the founder of Berry Good Entertainment. Please welcome Naytarsha Berry.
Hey.
Welcome to the
Hello.
show.
Hello. Glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
Let's talk about some of the projects that you're involved with currently.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of them. First of all, I am with Clubhouse Theater, and we are doing, again, because we did it once in March, we're doing Yellow Man up in Idlewild, Michigan for the Jazz Festival. And I'm really excited about that. That is the July 4th weekend. We actually do our performance on July 6th, but they have a whole weekend full of fun activities.
Great music and entertainment.
Great music, entertainment, little pop-up shops, you name it.
So what's Yellow Man all about?
So Yellow Man is by a young lady named Dale Orlander Smith. She's out of New York. It was a Pulitzer Prize nomination. It didn't actually win. I don't know why, because it's a really good show. It's only 2 people in the whole show.
Wow.
Yeah. And
you're
of
one
us,
of them.
And I'm one of them.
Wow.
But I play 4 people.
Oh.
And the other co-star plays 5 people.
Wow.
So you watch us grow up. It's a love story, but it's also a deep story about how in the African American community, there's racism amongst ourselves. Yeah, it's really deep. It's really heavy. You start off by seeing me. I'm 7. He's 9. Then I'm 14. And then I go into 17 and 21.
You're playing the same character at different points.
I'm playing the same character at different points, and I'm also playing my mother.
See,
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I love
too.
like United States of Terror was one of my favorite TV shows because to see an actor or an actress switch. What do you do? I mean, are there things physically you do, mannerisms that you take on?
Mannerisms take on different. For this particular piece, I watched very closely Split.
Oh,
oh my God, that movie was.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, and. Just to see, because you don't have any props in this particular play. You only have 2 chairs. in the whole play.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're not, changing for real, not at all. So
Right.
literally, I have to go into an older woman, who's a little more rough around the edges, so to speak. And then I have to be this little girl, who likes to have fun and outgoing. And then I turn into this other young lady who's really trying to get rid and get past where she grew up at. So yeah, it's all these, and then I go off to New York and become somebody totally different. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do.
And there's
show.
no second chances. You're
Nope.
no cut, no rewind. Yeah,
Man, I'm telling you, we ran that show in March, from the beginning of March to the end of March, every weekend. So that's like 4 shows per weekend, and every show is different.
Yeah, I bet.
Because you can't yell cut. You just have to, whatever comes out, you just got to roll with that. And the audience doesn't know.
That's
so
amazing.
it's fun.
Yeah. And that was at the Clubhouse Theater.
That's
Tell
at the
us
Clubhouse
a little
Theater.
bit about that venue.
The Clubhouse Theater is 10177 West McNichols. It's in the heart of Detroit. It's located on West McNichols, which is also 6 Mile, which I had to learn.
Right, correct.
Yes.
Because I'm not from here.
I forget it, but I've been told that before.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I forget it all the time. But I say 6 Mile, and then I say, oh, no, I mean McNichols. My daughter said, no, Mom, it's on McNichols and 6 Mile.
I call it the lodge
that's the
sometimes,
thing.
and it just people slap me.
Right.
Yes,
So
yes.
But it's really quaint. It really puts you in the mind of New York theater, where it's like really intimate black box theater, where you're right up on the actors, which I love.
Yeah, I like that too.
Oh, I love it to death. I for a while I was doing murder mysteries where the audience is interactive.
Oh,
So I really got acclimated to the audience being right there. And it's so much fun. And it's just bringing theater to the community. A lot of people have never been to a play. They know nothing. They're quick to go to the movies. Quick to go to the movies.
yeah. Even bowling or
Or a bowling or,
Yeah.
or other things, but not theater. And when they come, so many people who've never been, they come and they're like, wow, I really like this. And so now they want to, go to more and do more. And I even have people who want to be a part of it. So that's exciting. I'm actually a part of this. I am the artistic director there, assistant artistic director there. Brian Marable and Dale Fahum are the owners. And they've been there. They've done 1 year, but they've done 5 shows there so far. Successful shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume it's really accessible in terms of like ticket price. And
Oh, yeah. We keep it cheap.
yeah. So there's no
Yeah.
excuse. Go
There's-
see a show.
There's really no excuse. I mean, you spend $20 on, nowadays you can't even get a full meal with $20.
No.
You know
And
what
then
I'm
the
saying?
movies by the time you get anything. Yeah.
And here's the cool part. If you've been a supporter or you're new to the game, we discount your tickets. Like, come on in for $10. Why not? Because the goal is really to show you what theater is. Not really to make a lot of money off of this, just more so to teach.
Nice.
So that's one of the projects you're involved in at
That's
the
one
moment.
of them. Right.
Yeah.
What else you got on deck?
Also on deck, I have No Veterans Left Behind, which I'm doing with the Lighthouse Community Theater, and that is going to be at Marygrove College on September the 21st.
And
I'm
that's
really
right
excited
around the
about
corner from
that.
Clubhouse.
That's right around
yeah.
the corner.
Same neighborhood.
Same neighborhood. And what we're doing is working with veterans who actually have a lot of talent. They're doing Motown, but I have a guy who plays the saxophone. I have a group, and I love these guys. They're going to be multitasking. They're playing the temps and the pips.
Nice.
Yeah. And they're so sweet and so nice. And like I was saying to a friend of mine, it's so funny how, these people fought for our country. So you would think they had no fear at all. But they get on stage and they just shy up, and it's so cute.
Got the stage fright. Yeah.
And you got to pull it out of them. And it's so exciting. And they're so excited to do it. Along with that, I have When Loving You Is Hurting Me. I'm directing that show with JC Productions, and that is also at Marygrove in October.
Okay.
October 19th. Yeah.
And when can we see the Veterans Review?
The
It's a
Veterans-
Motown Review?
Yes, the
Yeah.
Veterans Review will be at Marygrove on September the 21st.
Okay. So a couple of things in the fall to look forward to.
So you got a lot going on.
Yeah, I stay busy.
And you still need some people for that show, right?
I do. I am still looking for three women who can sing. Now, you don't have to be that great. We can work with that. It's more so, I always feel like acting and singing kind of go hand in hand because you're kind of selling the song, right? You got to make me believe what it is you're saying. That's the same with acting.
Especially Motown songs.
Especially Motown songs. Now, I will say this, when you're trying to be Aretha or something, you're going to have to go ahead and sing. But, but what we're looking for is just the effort, just if you're a veteran, if your parents were a veteran, if your grandmother was a veteran, if you support veterans, come on out to the auditions, which will actually be held June 22nd at Mary Grove from 1 to 4.
Okay, and how can people find out more about that?
They can hit me up on Facebook. Nay Renee on Facebook, Nay Renee on Instagram. I keep it simple. Nay Renee on Twitter. Or you can just call me up or inbox me. You can do that as well. Or you can just call me up at 313-920-7195 and say you want to audition.
Look at that. Not many of our guests give out their phone number.
I know. I like this.
there.
I'm a business.
Yes.
All right. Can we call you Nay?
Yes, please.
All right. Well,
Please
Nay,
do.
we're glad you're here. Hang out. Enjoy the show. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
This is the deep. This is the deep brief. Deep. This is the deep brief.
Brief.
All right, Becky, let's start with music news. What's going on?
So rapper Danny Brown, he is, I'd venture to say one of the goofiest Detroit musicians in the best way, is very excited for him. He's going to have a new TV talk show on Viceland.
So this is a Detroit rapper.
Yeah, Danny Brown.
All right,
Yeah.
I got to get up on my local rappers.
Yeah.
He's really unique because, I mean,
like, Will Smith in his early days, kind of goofy rappy, or
no, not like that. Just his personality
All right.
is very out there. And I mean, there's a mural of him. He's pretty legendary in the local hip hop scene.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's going to have this show called Danny's House, and the concept is pretty basic. He's going to interview guests in his basement in Detroit, in his basement of the house in Detroit. And it's a typical looking basement. We'll put the trailer up on our show notes with all kinds of, mismatched furniture and a bunch of stuff on the walls and everything. So listen to his guests: A$AP Rocky, Hannibal Buress, Schoolboy Q, Insane Clown Posse.
Dude, I would not let ICP into my basement. I'm just telling you that.
I'm
right
not
now.
sure I'd let him on my porch.
No.
No.
They could not come near my house. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean,
are they going to be in full makeup and everything?
I would assume, because I don't think I think that's them. Like, they would probably say that's how they present themselves. Yeah. And it's televised.
That's scary.
If you're doing this in your basement, there's no green room. There's no.
No.
Right.
No.
I mean,
you're
where do you
just-
do your makeup? It's like
in
go,
the car?
go behind the water heater.
Well, maybe there's a little half bathroom
Right,
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
something
it
like
could
that.
be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah. What's he going to be serving them, do you think?
I don't know.
That's a little wild right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Fruit roll-ups and whatever's in those cans that have been there since.
A long time ago. Yeah. And another guest that was mentioned was Gilbert Gottfried. So
Oh, wow.
One of these things does not fit with the other.
Wow.
So,
Now that's, well, you know
telling
what?
you, zany.
I'm looking at a picture of him and I could see him interviewing Gilbert Gottfried now that I see.
you see
what
Danny Brown's? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so check that out. It premieres July 17th on Viceland.
Okay.
So when you're thinking about Iggy Pop and, kind of all he embodies, what would you assume he might sponsor or create in terms of like a food or drink item?
Oh, food or drink?
Yeah.
Oh,
Beer.
yeah.
Because
whiskey.
I was
Hard
thinking,
alcohol.
Yeah,
Some hard alcohol
I
or
don't know if I think it was Iggy Pop. I heard the story about him rolling around on stage in broken glass and
Oh, that sounds about
Oh,
right.
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Okay.
So here's what he's doing. Coffee. He's got his own
Coffee?
Yeah, from Stumptown Coffee.
Stumptown Coffee.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And you
Iggy.
got to check out his website. I was looking at the Stumptown Coffee website. They have this very slick campaign to introduce his coffee with these sexy might not be the right word, but photos, the iconic Iggy
No shirt.
style of no
Right.
shirt,
Okay.
low slung jeans, little leather jacket,
Really?
Yeah. So it's this Sumatran coffee.
Oh, wow.
It's very awesome because it's processed by an organic female-run co-op. And
Cool.
part of the proceeds go to Girls Rock Camp Alliance.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a really awesome
Iggy.
all
I'm
around
just trying to imagine the cast of Friends hanging out in Iggy Pop's
Iggy
coffee
Pop.
shop.
in the coffee
Right.
shop.
Right. Like,
Yes.
I
I think it punk vibe to the shop.
I would
but
think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
And look at this. It's described as having notes of dates, nutmeg, and a long chocolatey finish.
Oh, well, that's punk rock. That's
I would never think notes of dates with Iggy Pop.
Yeah, and it's got this
Notes of whiskey
cigarettes.
I mean, I would have. Come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's got a lust for life. You got to play off the.
Of that, no,
that's
it's
kinda
a new
cool.
direction for Iggy, and he designed the
Okay.
bag. It's like this slick black bag that has a drawing. It almost looks like something he might draw on like a cocktail napkin and like pass across
wow.
the table to you, like a real simple drawing,
Right.
And it has his autograph on it.
So, of course.
And the Stumptown Coffee says, we've long felt ourselves to be kindred spirits with the godfather of punk and his artistic pursuits. So apparently it's a match made in heaven.
Okay. Kindred spirits with Iggy Pop.
Yep. So you can buy
That's
it
something.
on Stumptown's website.
I might have to get it just to see.
just to find out what
Just
Iggy
to
Pop coffee is like.
It tastes
see what
like.
it's
All right.
like.
Yeah. I think it'll change your life.
It might.
So I wanted to mention a more recent artist, Detroit native. She's got some new music out. She's a 29-year-old soul singer. Her name is Erin Allen Kane. She has this new EP out. It's called A Tree Planted by Water. It's got this beautiful cover art, too, of her basically being the roots of a tree growing. And it's a combo of spoken word tracks by a poet, Aja Monet, and songs. It's got this super dreamy soul feel to it, real uplifting and hopeful songs. And it's just one of the coolest things I've heard in a while. I had it on repeat all weekend, so I wanted to mention it.
So wait, where'd you find it? Spotify or Pandora?
You know, actually, how I found it, I got to give a shout out to Apropos, a musician friend of ours from Detroit who posted about it. And,
cool.
and then it led me, you know how you go down
SoundCloud,
that
can you
rabbit
find it
hole.
online?
Yeah.
I
No,
wanna-
she's on Apple Music,
You said
Spotify.
cover art, and I'm trying to think, like, when's the last time I actually saw cover art?
Well, when it pops
Right.
up on your little Spotify or Apple Music. Yeah.
I don't know. I just tell Alexa.
I always look at that.
Alexa, play this.
Oh,
Yeah, and go about my business
I'm usually
listening to it,
looking
right.
at my computer or
Oh,
my
that's
phone.
cool.
So,
Okay.
anyways, but here's the cool thing. So you will have heard her voice somewhere before. So she was on Chance the Rapper's Grammy-winning 2016 mixtape Coloring Book.
Oh, cool.
Prominently. She also did backing vocals on one of Prince's tracks
I
called
love Prince.
Baltimore. You and me both.
Nice. Wonderful.
And Prince found her randomly and like tweeted about her
Really?
years ago. And that's kind of how things started really popping.
Oh, she's so lucky. I've always wanted Prince to tweet about me.
I know.
Too late.
I know.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen, but
Well, we could hack his account. I wonder what happened to it.
I don't know.
right?
Well,
I
it could be
wonder.
the family. I mean,
Yeah,
they've-
the family
they're-
has
they're
taken over.
selling everything.
What happens
so
to your Twitter account when you die?
I'm not sure.
Do I have to leave it to somebody?
In
Am
the
I
wrong
will?
hands.
leave it to
Right.
somebody.
You should probably secure that because in the wrong
make sure
hands.
somebody has your password so they can get in and
Yeah, figure
tweet
out
for
right.
you
Yeah.
at that point.
So anyway, we'll put a link to Erin Allen Kane's project because she's waxes poetic about Prince and how he really helped her career too.
I want to check her out just because Prince said she was cool.
Oh yeah.
That's
She
really
sang
the only
with him
reason.
on stage.
That's
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have some concert picks coming up. Thursday, June 20th, One Nation Under a Groove tour.
All
That's George
right.
Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic.
Yes.
So it's
I
billed
love
as
him.
like their farewell tour, unfortunately.
Oh,
I mean, we don't know,
wow.
but they're going to be at Freedom Hill.
It could
Well,
just
they
be
are a lot
there.
older now,
we got to call
so-
this our farewell tour because we
So-
need some money.
Yeah. Hey, I go see them
Yeah,
all
sell
day, every
tickets.
day.
Times, desperate measures.
Every day. So Friday, June 21st, Lovely the Band is at the Majestic. And then also Friday the 21st, Ryan Neal is at Aretha's Jazz Cafe. That's the little
Nice.
intimate venue there under the
Yeah,
music hall.
yeah.
This is a young guy from Detroit area. He's doing some great stuff, super soulful and funky and just really catchy tunes. So go check that out. Cool. Saturday, June 22nd, the National R&B Hall of Fame, which a lot of people don't know is right here in Detroit. It's not a physical place, but wants to be. They're having an all-white dance party in tribute to Motown's 60th anniversary at Bert's Entertainment
cool is
Complex.
that?
Yeah.
I love birds.
It's the
I do.
best.
It is.
And they
It's-
throw great parties.
Wonderful parties.
Yes. So you got that on Saturday. And then the Hall of Fame induction ceremony is Sunday, the 23rd at the Charles Wright Museum.
Oh, so cool.
And bunch of inductees this year. Top ones are Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder.
Of
Yeah,
course.
naturally. And there's a free after party at Bert's for that too.
Oh, nice.
And we can't forget to mention Saturday, June 26th, the Front Porch, a day of music on Ferndale porches, which we had the creator of on the podcast last week, and he told us all about it.
I'll be hanging out there,
And
so you
Seth
can come
will
say
be there.
hello. Yeah,
That sounds fun.
It's just you just walk around Ferndale, and they've just got bands and musicians
playing
on
on
all the
porches.
different porches.
How cool is that?
What is it? 50 bands this year, or something like
Yeah,
that?
something like that. No, I
50
think it was more than that. I
random
think
porches.
it was a lot.
Or 70. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It
Yeah,
was a lot.
38 porches. Yeah.
Wow, so you just say, hey, you can play on my porch.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all
That's
set
all,
up.
that's
so
all you
cool.
can do.
And there's going to be
so cool.
an official debrief porch.
There is going to be a debrief
There's
porch.
a debrief porch.
Yes.
Yes.
How cool.
So go on out on Saturday.
Absolutely.
And then Monday, June 24th, Perry Farrell's Kind Heaven Orchestra. So this is kind of his solo new spin project, is going to be at St. Andrews Hall, featuring current and former members of Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and Jane's Addiction.
Oh, wow. I love Pearl.
This is the Deep Brief,
Want more?
your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.
Go to the debriefdetroit.com.
All right, Nate, we got to put in a plug here for Michigan Podcast Productions. This is something that we do because we have had so many people in the arts and entertainment space come on this podcast, sit in that chair that you're sitting in, and they've been on this podcast, and they said, you used to do a radio show, right?
I did.
And don't you miss it now that you're sitting there?
You have no idea. It's like this itch that I have now. I'm so excited
I
to
feel
be
like
here.
you got a lot of good things to say. And you like being on the mic.
Yeah, it's fun.
People
So
love
it's about-
doing it, and so they always say at the end,
I think I should start a podcast, or I want to start a podcast.
cool.
People tell me I should have a podcast.
So we have launched Michigan Podcast Productions to help Detroit arts and entertainment organizations launch their own podcasts.
Wow.
If you want all the details, all you got to do is go to michiganpodcastproductions.com. That's the website we set up. And if you're interested, shoot us an email. Again, the website is michiganpodcastproductions.com.
The Debrief, your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.
This is the Deep Brief.
Brief.
All right, ladies. Are you fans of Star Trek or are you fans of Star Wars?
I like both of them.
You can't.
Old school.
You can't.
I can't like both.
That's.
I think you know by now which one
I know you don't care. You're
No,
all in space.
No, that's not true. I will take Star Wars any day.
You see. I would think you would be more of a Star Trek.
No.
Because Star Wars is so violent. I would think that you'd be much
Yeah,
more about
Star
the
Trek
prime
is not
directive
really-
and
I
not
don't know.
interfering with culture and respecting. It's much
You're
more.
you're just looking too deep. You're
I
you're
know.
thinking too much of me right there.
Well, I mean, Captain Kirk and Spock were just so cool, and Aurora, she was so cool.
Did you watch it growing up?
I did, because he always landed in the weirdest places, and Captain Kirk always got with the weirdest looking women. And I always thought that was
You know what?
interesting.
Maybe I should go back and watch. Honestly,
You should.
I think I just didn't have the right entree to it. Nobody I knew watched it or whatever.
Right.
Nobody I knew
See?
watched it either, but it
you
was like,
found it.
what is this? That lady's green, and they're kissing. This is
That's
fun.
always the one that I remember. Is
green
Captain
lady?
Kirk making out with the
With
green
the green lady.
right?
It's like, wow, he's
Right.
an equal opportunity kind of guy.
Yeah.
Did you know this? The first interracial kiss on television ever
With Aurora.
with Uhura.
Yeah, Aurora.
Wasn't yeah? That's
Yes,
pretty
it was on
sweet.
Star Trek. Yes, and yet everybody just remembers the green lady.
I know.
Striking. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Black is one thing, green is a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Right.
I have good news. Whether you are a Star Wars fan or a Star Trek fan, there's stuff going on this week.
Perfect.
So Henry Ford has this Star Trek exhibit. It's going to be there for a few months. It's called Exploring New Worlds. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Among other things, there's a transporter simulator.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
No way.
I think there's a tribble. I don't know. You remember the little round things?
Okay, wait a minute. I remember those things. Okay, this is getting cool.
And there is a booth that if you've ever seen Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and you know where Kirk shouts, Khan! You know, there's a booth that allows
Wait,
you
what
to
did he say?
recreate that. Khan!
All right.
You gotta, I veer into Chewbacca territory if I'm
I
not
was like,
careful.
that sounded a little Star Wars-esque.
So you can actually recreate that. By the way, if you've never seen that scene, if you've never seen Star Trek II, A Wrath of Khan, which is the best of the Star Trek films.
Okay.
The first one's terrible. I couldn't make it through it.
Okay.
2 is fantastic.
Okay.
They're actually showing it Thursday, June 20th. They show old movies up on the giant screen there at the
how
Henry
cool.
Ford. They're
The
doing
IMAX?
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of the Star Trek movies. So they're in the coming weeks. You can also see Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, and Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, which is the funniest of the Star Trek.
That's the
films.
funniest one.
That's the funniest
All right,
one.
so
Okay,
Something
which
for
one
every-
had the Ewoks? Because that was like my
That's
favorite.
Star Wars.
Oh. Well, then there's that.
But don't worry, because you can go see that. If you prefer Star Wars,
Okay.
the Redford Theater is showing the original trilogy this
Nice.
weekend. So on
Nice.
Friday
That's
night,
fun.
you can see the
Yeah.
original Star Wars movie that kicked it all off. And then on Saturday, you can see Empire Strikes Back, which is the best.
Nice.
The
Now
best
that
That's
one
the
I know.
best.
films.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that
best.
one was really good.
And then also on Saturday is Return of the Jedi. That's the one with the Ewoks.
That's Ewoks all day. They're so adorable.
so.
They are pretty cute.
You gotta love them.
So if you, have somebody that needs to be educated about either Star Wars or
Bring 'em.
Star Trek, this is the weekend.
Bring them
to get.
out.
Bring them out. Redford Theater. That's a really nice.
I
Theater.
love that place.
Yeah.
Let's talk for a moment about shoe culture.
Okay.
I don't know much about this. I know that it's a thing, but I'm not really into it. Are either of you?
Not unless it comes with a heel. Have to
Different
be
branding.
honest.
Different branding. Which are wearing some very nice ones today.
Thank you so much.
No, I am. I have been educated in the shoe culture via my son, my 16-year-old. So he is into it, loves the shoe culture. It has maybe, created an entrepreneurial situation for himself, a little side business of reselling the shoes.
So how does this work?
So he gets on, he just follows a bunch of stuff. So he knows when new hot models are going to be put out. And you have to sit there at the computer and have, a few minutes to be in line to buy this limited release stuff.
Yeah.
And then, they're sold out and you can go back later and resell them to people for huge markups.
And after you've worn them, or do
That's
you
what I'm
just
saying. After you had
He's
them on,
done both. He's done brand new that weren't even in his size that he just sat
so
there
how
and
do
waited.
how do you walk without creasing the
Right.
shoe? Like
He
has
done
obviously know how to do
Yeah,
this.
he's done ones that he has worn for a little bit. In fact, he had a pair of Yeezys recently that he wore, I don't know, a handful of times, but he takes great care of his shoes. I even have him clean my shoes.
What do you mean he
Wow.
takes great care of his
He
shoes?
doesn't
while
wear them if it's raining or he doesn't
Oh,
walk in
wow.
dirt
He's
with
got
them.
raining shoes. He's got.
And and he's really good. He's got the little brushes and he knows how to literally,
he's serious about
yeah.
this.
Are you
thing.
kidding me?
No,
Wow.
and so this particular pair, I think, was 120ish, something like that. He just turned around and sold them last weekend for like $360.
That's amazing.
He's got a little entrepreneurial
I
spirit.
don't care
is
if you're
amazing.
Prince. I'm not paying you more for your used shoes.
I don't know about
than-
that one though. So
People want them.
sold me his shoes.
That I would buy.
I would break
They'd
the
probably
bank
be
for that.
too small for me, but
Well, yeah.
I would just put them on a shelf and look at them.
Wow. Well, look, if you're into shoe culture, there's a big event happening this Saturday. It is the Michigan Sneaker Xchange. It's happening at Kobo. So this event, I mean, this thing's taking off. It was
Yeah.
founded in 2013 by a guy named Jake Schreier, and it was to give people in the sneaker community a safe place to kind of network, get together, exchange, or sell, or,
It's a
or
big
do all
deal.
this stuff. It started at a modern skate park,
Also, one of my favorite places through my sons,
but smaller than Kobo.
way smaller.
It then moved to Ultimate Soccer Arenas,
Wow.
and now it's in Kobo.
Now it's in Kobo.
I've been to all those places. Spent significant time in all those places.
that's
What,
amazing.
looking at shoes?
No, at Modern Skate Park because I have a skateboarding son and another that's about to, and Ultimate Soccer because I have a soccer player. And then, of course,
okay.
Kobo for all the things.
Wow. But that's amazing how it just grew and grew and grew, and now it's at
Yes.
Kobo.
And then we have StockX here, which is
Yep. Yeah, it's a big deal.
business.
It's a big deal. Speaking of which, Puma is celebrating the 30th anniversary of Detroit Pistons' Isaiah Thomas winning his first NBA championship
How cool.
by issuing a special edition of his signature sneakers, which are called the Finals.
The finals.
Came out a few days ago. I don't know. Maybe you can't get them through the website anymore.
It might be too late.
Yeah, it might be too
Yeah,
late.
they probably
I
got
don't know. I remember that. I remember him winning.
Yeah,
definitely.
And those sneakers. Yeah, go.
Well, I don't remember the sneakers.
Wow.
But
go ask your son if he knows about the finals.
I don't know if he will. He probably will.
While
Yeah.
you're at it, ask him what I can get for my used New Balances.
Oh, I mean, well, the dad shoes are back in style. I mean,
look at that.
Are those called dad shoes?
Dad shoes, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, some of the
wow.
Yeezys
I'm
look
so
like dad
old.
shoes.
I'm hip again. I'm like Betty
Yeah.
White over here.
Look at you go.
Yeah, it's the mom
at you go.
the mom jeans and the dad
Mom
shoes.
jeans can't come back ever.
They did, but you have to be
Listen.
like 22, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Here's something else I'm excited about because I've been working on landscaping my backyard, which this is the first time I've ever had a backyard. I bought a house last year.
Cool.
And it's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I've been researching for months, like what plants to plant and where they go, and you try and make it look so that things bloom at different times of the year.
The
and then,
color, yeah.
and the digging. And I had I had a dump truck pull up to my house and just dump dirt in my driveway.
Did you need
Wow.
And
that?
it took a month to get it all into
Laid
the
out.
ground.
place.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something.
So I am impressed with this guy. There's a Dutch landscaper. His name is Piet Odolf, and he has broken ground on a 2.5 acre garden on Belle Isle.
This is big time.
That's
This is
major.
big time.
It's going to be gorgeous.
My backyard, maybe 30 plants.
30 plants.
30, 40
And
plants. He's doing
He's got you beat,
18,000.
18,000.
Wow.
And I've been sweating, like every weekend I like come in at the end of Saturday
Well,
and I'm like,
let's be
my
clear.
back hurts.
He's not doing
Right,
it.
he's got people.
Right. He's got
He
people
is the
planting these plants.
designer. There are hundreds of volunteers, and
Yes.
you can
Yeah.
sponsor plants. You can go buy them.
Can I get them to come to my house?
Right.
I wonder
that's-
how much he would charge for a consultation.
Well, they raised $4 million. The Michigan Garden Club raised
he's
over
charging
$4
a lot
million
for a
for
consultation.
the build
Yeah.
and for maintenance. They're doing 2 plantings. One's in the spring, one's in September, and it's going to open up to the public in 2020.
and I've seen they still are looking for volunteers. If you wanted to go do that, you can
Yeah.
sign up.
I got enough to do.
No.
Thank
I don't
you.
like bugs, so I can't dig
Oh,
into
you don't
it.
like
You can't.
bugs?
I can't do it. Could bug come out, I got a problem.
Oh, yeah, bugs live in gardens.
They live there,
Yeah,
and you
so
know that's
a
their
problem.
place.
Yeah.
So who am I to disturb that? You know.
A couple other things that are going on around town. Friday, June 21st, you've got the Secret Society of Twisted Storytellers hosted by Satori Shakur. That's happening at the Charles Wright Museum. Have you ever been to one of these
Yes,
storytelling
I
events?
have,
You
and it's extremely entertaining and so cool. She is phenomenal.
Yes.
I haven't had the opportunity to meet her as of yet, but I was planning to go to this anyway, and she is phenomenal.
She's great. She was one of our first guests here on the
really,
podcast. Yeah, she's
absolutely
fantastic.
talented.
Also going on Saturday, June 22nd, Bill Maher is at the Fox Theater. All weekend long, it's Gay for Detroit at the Ringwald Theater in Ferndale. 4 days of Pride celebration. Monday, June 24th, you've got Hugh Jackman,
Hugh Jackman,
Wolverine,
watch out.
going to be at MGM Grand.
Doing what?
I don't know.
I've heard about this. I think
Showing
it's
off
like
his claws.
No, I
think he
it's
sings and
song
dances
and dance
stuff.
and like
He was in Sweeney Todd, right? He does that
was.
stuff.
I think it's like he'll probably be in like a tuxedo.
Did you ever see,
and-
what was it?
I know,
the
but-
Tonys where he performed? He was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah,
He was, but that was like a segment. I don't know, like
a whole show.
of
I
Hugh
don't know.
Jackman.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's hot, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's going to be a lot of ladies in the audience.
Yes.
I think.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Lady
for sure.
heavy, yeah.
For sure.
And finally, on Monday, you've got the 61st annual Ford fireworks. I don't get
Yes,
this
on
about
Monday.
Michigan. Why don't you guys do this on 4th of July here?
Well, I think it's part of the International Freedom Festival. So with Canada and the U.S.
Nobody's got freedom on a Monday.
No, I'm busy.
Well, obviously
I'm not
we're
free.
busy.
I got something to do on
Right.
Tuesday.
Mondays.
I got busy on Monday.
I'm so busy on Monday.
Don't they know we're recording the podcast on Mondays? We cannot make
Oh
it.
boy, there's going to be a lot of noise in the background.
Yeah, it is. But
That's true.
But why do they do that?
It
I've
has to
always
do with
wondered.
the International Freedom Festival, but why a Monday? I'm not sure. But that's why not on the 4th of July, because it's also Canada. So obviously they didn't get their independence on July 4th.
Canada
you know?
couldn't get freedom on the
So
same
it's
day
for-
that we did.
it's
Right,
for
I know.
both,
We
yeah.
couldn't have aligned our schedules
They
there.
can do their own on their own time.
Yeah. All right.
This is the D.
Detroit.
This is the D.
Brave.
There it is. That's a show.
It's a goodie.
Yeah.
Hey.
See, you miss radio. You
Yeah,
miss it.
I do.
You're a
I
natural.
love
You are
this.
a
This was
natural.
fun. This is a lot of
A
fun.
couple things we want to plug. We have a mobile app. You should go download it because in there you will find extra content that we don't put out in the regular podcast, like bonus episodes and stuff, interviews, sometimes bits from comedians, all kinds of stuff like that. So go check it out.
You can also listen to the podcast on your Amazon Echo. Just say, Alexa, enable the Debrief podcast.
And there is a very cool, very swanky bar called the Willis Show Bar in Cass Corridor.
Favorite spot.
On Friday, we're going to have one of the co-owners on the podcast, so check that out.
Neat.
Let's give some shout outs before we get out of here. This is something we always like to do, recognize some organization, some person, something local that's going on that we're excited about. Becky, let's start with you.
Yeah, so I took the opportunity to go to Detroit Demo Day, which was last Friday night at the Fillmore. Quicken Loans puts this on, Bedrock, and it was so cool. It was better than I even expected going in. I went to support a friend who was doing a pitch. So what it is over $1 million going to Detroit entrepreneurs. They start out with 500 people applying, and then it's whittled down. So
this is Shark Tank for Detroit.
Basically.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's 15 people that go and pitch for 90 seconds on their business idea.
90
Whether they're,
seconds.
there was 3 categories depending on what level you are at your business. So it was just really super inspiring to see people so passionate about doing things in Detroit.
Yeah.
2 of my favorites were Louisiana Creole Kitchen, which has a location there in Eastern
They
Market.
are so good.
Their food is amazing. Now,
Delicious.
New Orleans is my second home, basically, and love the food there. And this comes just so darn close. Like,
Yeah.
it's the real deal.
Yeah, they're really good.
It's been going for 50 years, this business. And the
What?
owner got up there and he got a bunch of money to open up new locations. They want to be the Chipotle of Louisiana Cajun food.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah. And then a big winner was the young woman who owns Ellis Island Tea. Now, we've talked about her before. She's using her grandfather's Jamaican recipe for
I like
this
that already.
tea. It's very good. And she is unique in the field as being a young African-American female beverage company owner. Like, it's a big deal. And she has on the horizon a huge contract with Sam's Club to sell the teas in all their stores. So she needed the boost to increase capacity.
Yeah.
She'd be giving new jobs to Detroiters. It was just super great. And then they're like, stick around. We're going to have a Grammy Award-winning performer at the end. And it, completely secret. Out on stage comes T.I.
How hot is that?
What?
Wow.
And this whole event was free. So you're
that's cool.
inspired, you're excited. It's all
And
Detroit.
then surprise.
And then T.I.'s like, hey, I'm happy to be in Detroit, and gave a whole free show.
T and
Oh
T.I.
my God. I love
T,
T
T.I.
and T.I.
Nice.
That's hot.
All right, Nay, what about you? Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I do. I am good friends with a young lady named Crystal Nicole Kraft. And what she has is crystal clear. How cool is that, right? She put her name in that. Crystal clear skincare.
Oh.
A lot of times, what I've found out, especially for us who's in the entertainment business, we have to wear a lot of makeup on stage, and it kind of
Yeah.
messes up your skin. It
Does.
really does. And then when you're not on stage, you really don't want to wear it, but you feel like you need to. She has a product line though that will clear your. I was impressed because I just don't trust stuff.
Yeah.
I just have to be honest.
On my skin, yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust stuff on my skin. But her product line is all natural. I mean, completely natural. We're talking about cucumbers and tea tree oil and peppermint and all natural, and will really clear your skin up very. I mean, it'll blow your mind, actually.
Oh, cool.
And she works out of the Massage Day Spa, Green Spa, in Allen Park. But she told me that I could, as I have done, say her phone number on my, because she's really, really coming up.
She gives up the digits quite a
I
bit
know.
over there.
I can, yes, because we're a business. That's what I think. So Crystal Clear Skincare, 313-820-9405. Acne, black marks, dark marks, rosacea.
Yeah.
I mean, she really cleans up all of that. Really
Nice.
good. Yeah,
Awesome.
privately owned.
I want to give a shout out to Elaine Roseborough. She has an exhibit that's on the front lawn of the First Unitarian Universalist Church over in Cass Corridor. It's not going to be there much longer. It's been there since about the beginning of the month, and it was in Ferndale before that. But it's basically these toys and dolls those that are on stakes underneath a banner that says, "For the thousands of separated immigrant children."
Wow.
And this is something that I feel like we need to be talking about more. I feel like I see it a bit in the news, but
not enough.
And we don't talk about it in
No, in a
conversation.
local level.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't talk about it on this podcast because it's not what we do, and we don't talk about it with our coworkers and with our colleagues.
True.
And I think this is becoming a crisis that we need to start having conversations about it. I think this is something that years and decades from now, the history books are going to look back on how we address this and
It's
how we talk about it.
horrific.
So
I had the opportunity to see this when it was in Ferndale. It's on a church on Woodward there, and it is pretty powerful. You know, at first you glance and it almost looks like a Heidelberg Project type of thing, you know, with the toys and the animals. But when you get close up, it's like the thought of all these innocent kids, you know, separated from their families. It's pretty powerful. She did a really great, a simple yet really powerful depiction of it.
Yeah. And I think the whole point of it is to get people talking about it.
Exactly.
So talk about it.
Okay.
And talk about it in places where you might not otherwise talk about it. Well, look, Naytarsha Berry, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
For coming on the podcast. This has been great. Again, the productions that you're working on, tell people what they are and where people can find them.
Yellow Man at Idlewild Jazz Festival. That's July 4th, 5th, and 6th. We will be up on the 6th. No Veterans Left Behind, Motown Review, Mary Grove College. That is September the 21st. And When Loving You Is Hurting Me, Mary Grove College as well, October the 19th.
Awesome. Well, look, come back again tomorrow and hang out with us, and we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Until then, Detroit's moving.
Keep up.
The Debrief.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.
Hi, Craig Foley here. If you're listening to the Debrief podcast, well, I've got two things to say to you. One, you have impeccable taste. Two, you care about the community that is Metro Detroit. That's why I think you'd appreciate my daily show, The Craig Foley Show on Deadline Detroit. Every weekday, I tackle the big issues in politics, business, arts and culture, sports. Whatever's on the mind of Detroiters and Michiganders, we will talk about it. It's all open for discussion. And keep this in mind. News doesn't have to be boring. Sure, we talk about serious stories and we have interviews and commentary, but we do it in a way that, if I'm doing my job right, is informative but also entertaining. Check out The Craig Foley Show on Deadline Detroit for news, knowledge, hopefully some fun tossed in.
Hi, I'm Ian DeLisi from 1019 WDET. Well, for years I've been talking with people who are artists to find out what drives their creative spirit. And those extended sit-downs have now culminated in a new podcast series titled Essential Conversations. In the inaugural episodes, I talk with MC5 guitarist Wayne Kramer about the early days of the MC5, jazz artists Esperanza Spalding and Terry Lynn Carrington as they critique each other's teaching style. I turn the tables on writer and humorist Mo Rocca, and official White House photographer for the Obama administration, Pete Souza, talks about the night Osama bin Laden was captured. You can find Essential Conversations wherever you download your podcasts.